Well, that's a good question because we see this everywhere. There's even a song that says we have to keep it real simple, love God and love people. And I don't know if you remember, but growing up, if you came to Jesus out of joy, out of excitement, then you were in love with Jesus and you were having a great time. And then your old life began to creep into your new life, or the way the church tells you to live. You try to figure out what you can do. You try to start producing holiness. You start trying to cut yourself off from things, and then that gets a little hard, and then you feel that struggle. And you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So then someone comes to you and they say, oh, well, we have this program. Why don't you come over here and we'll help you? So you do that for a couple of years. It seems to work. And then something else happens, and then you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. I just need to die more to myself. And then someone says, hey, I have this program. And they tell you over and over again, you have to love God, brother. You have to love God, and you have to love people. This is the greatest command as a Christian. And after a few years, you start realizing that you're not good at loving God. And when they say loving God, they mean what Jesus said. This professional law abider, this guy who was wise in the commandments of the Mosaic law, he comes to Jesus and he says, Jesus, what is the greatest of all the laws? And Jesus says, to love the Lord your God with your whole heart, mind, body, soul, and strength, and to love others as you love yourself. So Jesus said it, so what are we supposed to do with this? Well, let me turn you to another group of people. When they came to Jesus, they came to him based out of fear because they were told that Jesus was going to throw them into a place called hell. And so everything you're doing, you're trying to love God based out of your own ability, once again, just like the first group. And the truth is, forced love is no love at all. So these people, they come to God based out of fear, and they're trying to love God, and they have all these issues with their relationship with God. And they're like, I don't know why I have this issue. It's because I'm evil. It's because of this. It's because of that. And it's because we are trying to produce it. And so one of the important things to really understand is Paul says that the law, which Jesus said, love the Lord your God with your whole heart, mind, body, soul, and strength, and love others as you love yourself, is the summary of the law. Paul calls the law the ministry of death. And he says it's the one that was written on stones. So it's not the 600 and something laws. He's talking about the 10 commandments. And Paul even says the thing that was supposed to produce life actually produced death. It caused every kind of sin within him. So let's look at this on a practical level. You try to love God with your whole heart, mind, body, soul, and strength for years, and then eventually you come to the conclusion that you can't do it. You're not good at it. If anybody says they're able to do it, they're lying. So they're not able to do it. When you realize you can't love God with your whole heart, mind, body, soul, and strength, you then begin to resent yourself. You begin to get upset with yourself, and then you begin to hate yourself. And the next part of this law is to love others as you love yourself. Well, how can you love other people if you don't even love yourself? If you want to know why so many people are judgmental, if you want to know why so many people are judging other people, constantly telling that they're going to hell, is because they don't love themselves. They can't love other people. Like, why can't they just be nice? Why can't they just be kind? It's because they can't love themselves. And the whole reason why they're judging other people is because if they didn't have anyone else to judge, they would have to turn and look at themselves, and they'd have to start judging themselves. So is the law, love the Lord your God with your whole heart, mind, body, soul, and strength, something that Jesus told us to do, a commandment that Jesus gave us? The answer is no. And Paul makes that very clear. So what are we supposed to do? Well, just before Jesus goes to the cross, he tells his disciples, I give you a new command. And this word new is kainos. It means never before, and it also means to replace. He says, love others as I have loved you. Now, how easy would it be is if you spent your life focusing on how much the Father, Son, and Spirit loves you? How easy would it be for that to overflow and pour out onto other people around you? Jesus understood that we could not produce this love. We are designed as children. We are designed to be poured into, and then we effortlessly pour back out. But religion teaches us that we have to produce. People will even tell you, you need to go out and you need to produce fruit. You need to bear fruit. But the word bear just means to carry. It means to carry something that has been given or carry something that is there. There is no us producing. When we try to produce, that is when we fall back into religion. That is when we fall back into what Paul calls the ministry of death. So as a Christian, what we are called to do is to know how loved we are, to know how accepted, to know how cherished we already are. And then that in turn will cause us to overflow and pour out onto other people. And it will be like fruit that we carry and show the world and give to the world.